As more and more people look at buying art for their homes and viewing pleasure, it's clear that the art world only continues to grow, even with the changing social and economic landscapes. Art sales are increasing, and everyone can enjoy buying and owning art in an affordable way. Sites like Instagram and your local art gallery are making it easier to discover emerging artists. We speak with Nicola, owner of 1111 Gallery, about the value of buying art, paying more for originals or limited edition prints, and much more. We want to hear from you. So if you haven't left us a review yet, please do so and let us know what your biggest takeaway from this episode is. Or let us know in general what you like about style access. Let's do this because style access starts now. Are here with Nicola Charles, owner of 1111 Gallery, and I'm so excited about this show. Nicola, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Nicola. I'm the owner, as you said, I'm the owner of 1111 Gallery. I specialise in UK contemporary and urban arts. We're based in Washington DC, just on the corner of Florida and North Capitol, on the northwest side. Um, and the gallery's been open since November 2019.
Wow. Okay. So we want to first dive into some FAQs. Our community has put together some questions. So are you up for it?
I sure am. Shoot.
Okay. So first question, what type of artwork are available in the market?
So there are different types of artwork. So I think when people say art, you automatically think of like canvases or visual arts, if you like. But there's also, you've got like statues, installations, little structures. You've got I've got one artist who's done some work with like a projector on a piece of work, on a piece of artwork as well, which is on canvas. So there's various types of art, basically. Everything's art. You can find art in everything. Basically.
Okay. So why should we buy art?
So I think art, it completes your space, right? So you can have like the loveliest home and the nicest furniture, but if you have bare walls, it leaves the space a little bit sparse or feeling unfinished. Whereas I think like a really nice piece of art just like completes it, enhances the space.
Okay. What resources can you use to research the variety of art or artists available in the market?
I would say in this day and age, I would say the internet. The internet is always your friend. Google is your best friend when it comes to researching art.
Okay.
That's my starting point anyway.
So. Got it. Are there art advisors or art brokers to assist you in the search?
There are multiple art advisors and brokers. I think what's important though is, for me, my advice would be to use an art broker or an advisor when you're at a certain stage of your collecting, or when you're at a certain stage of your career as a collector. So I would say if you're just starting out buying art, I don't think you would need to go to an art advisor. I think you could save money by just, you know, going into galleries, speaking to gallery owners, you know, try to identify what you like. So for me, I know I like pink. So I would always try and look for artwork probably that have pink or gold or something that I like. Also look at the kind of style, the genre. You can go on Instagram or, you know, Google, go on Artsy. There's so many different resources you can use to kind of just identify what you're into and pursue it that way.
Okay. And just for my own benefit, an advisor is, like you said, later on. So, but they would tell you like the latest or the newest artists that are out. Like, how would they benefit me?
Honestly, I've never used one.
Okay.
I know that people do, and I think they just having an advisor is a really good way to source art, because hopefully you would have built a relationship with the advisor, so they'll know the style, the genre, maybe the specific type of artist that you are drawn towards. So a lot of people may want to like buy artwork from women, like female artists, etc. So an art advisor can help narrow down the market for you, and kind of like just produce a short list of artwork that you may or may not be interested in.
Got it. Okay. Should you set a budget for yourself?
If you're like me, you should, because I think buying art is addictive.
Okay.
I think it's addictive. Like sometimes I have to stop myself. And I'm in a gallery.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. I understand, because you're around it all the time. And especially if, like for me, if I move into a new space or I want to update my own space, you know what I'm saying? An existing space, you can go crazy with, or I guess just collect it just to have it and look. I guess certain people may want to do that as well.
Yeah, and it's quite important to have a nice space, right? So we all like to have nice things, and so to have nice artwork, you know. And the other thing is, you may not have the wall space, but you can always buy an easel, or you can find space. I'm someone, I can always find space, and the beauty with art is you could always you can literally change your style, or you could change your living space or your working space once every 6 months if you wanted to, just by switching out artwork and making sure that it's wrapped well and put it to one side. And then you may find another wall in the house for it that you haven't thought about.
Okay. And where can we purchase original verified art?
So original pieces, when you say original pieces are just like unique pieces. So they're not, there are not multiples of that piece. So for example, this piece in the background is an original piece and it's on canvas, but you could get an original piece on paper. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a particular medium, but any artist can produce an original piece. It just, the fact that it's original or unique is just that there are no reproductions of that image.
So we have a lot more to learn about art, so we're going to keep you around for a couple of more segments. Is that all right?
That's perfect. Thank you.
More style access after the break. So welcome back. We still have Nicola here with us. And before we dive into this second segment, I want to talk to you and get to know you a little bit more. So what inspired you to launch 1111 Gallery?
So just a bit of backstory. I was traveling in 2016 around Bali, and I met a woman at a detox retreat, and she kept saying, oh, you're wasted in your current career, etc., etc. And have you thought about being in art galleries? And I was thinking, no, not really. But I'm quite a spiritual person anyway, right? And throughout the years, people have regularly said, oh, I would have thought you was a creative, which I don't. I'm very like straight, right? So I can't see how people always think that, but they do. And then in 2017, I quit my job, went traveling, and I was in Cuba in a town called Trinidad with a friend. We went into like a bar, but it was also an art gallery. And as I stepped over the threshold, I just got like goose pimples, and it dawned on me that I should have an art gallery. So that's kind of like, that was the birthing of the idea, if you like. And then when we continued traveling, I could think of nothing else. Like all I could think about, all I could talk about was this gallery. Didn't know where it was going to be. I didn't even know the genre of art that I was going to like specialize in or anything. And then we got to DC on our travels, and as soon as I stepped off the bus, I just knew it was going to be in DC. So that's how 1111 came about in DC.
Wow. Wow. So just quickly, what did she see in you? I mean, you guys were just talking and she just knew you were supposed to.
That's just it. And then she mentored me actually for quite a while. She's got an art gallery in New York and 2 in Mayfair in London. And she's just been an absolute star, and she's mentored me through, many a thing and many a kind of issues, and she's just been really good. So I've had really good support, which is
Yeah, that's great. That's good. So what type of artists and artwork do you showcase at your gallery?
So I specialise in UK contemporary and urban art, but I'm also starting to work more so with some local artists who fit the aesthetic of the gallery.
Okay. And are you an art collector yourself?
I am now.
Why do you say that?
It used to be. I've always travelled a lot, right? So I always buy things wherever I go. So not necessarily art. I might buy a mirror, or like a decorative mirror, or little bits and pieces, something that's going to remind me of that place. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you could say I'm a collector in that sense, but in terms of actually like art, visual art, then I'd say I am now. Yeah. I have a greater appreciation for it since transitioning into this industry.
Yeah, and I'm like you too. When I always go somewhere, I have to get something to remind me of wherever I travel to. So yeah, I get it.
Got no more space.
Yeah. Look, you're gonna have to find something if you would.
No,
Yes. So, how to buy art. So, as a first-time art buyer, what are some basic fundamentals I should know before making a purchase?
So, I always say when you buy art, you should connect to the piece, right? So when you connect to it, you almost know it's yours, if that makes sense, because you have, for me, sometimes I actually get like a physical feeling or a physical reaction to the artwork. So I know I'm supposed to buy that piece. But otherwise, I would say research the artists, research the market, like where that artist is and their position within the market, look at it on a wider scale, etc. Try to find out about the materials used or the mediums. Nowadays you can speak to a lot of artists on social media, see if you can spark a relationship, understand the artwork that you're buying. But ultimately I would say, buy because you like it, don't necessarily buy for an investment, because buying for an investment is a whole different ballgame.
Okay.
I think something else to consider when you're researching is how the artist produces their portfolio. So for example, these two pieces here beside me are by the Connor brothers, and at the moment they're like probably the biggest emerging artists in the world, right? And they release their portfolios in threes, or in like there's like three stages to, or three classifications, if you like. So you have something like this piece is it's a print, okay, and then there's a varnish, it's hand applied varnish over it, okay. That's like a entry level piece, okay. And then a piece like this is hand painted. So that's like their kind of middle price points, if that makes sense. And then you have their original pieces, but these two pieces are limited editions.
Okay.
Okay, so I would always suggest, if you're buying prints, unless you absolutely love and adore a print, I would say if you're buying a print, definitely try to buy limited edition prints, but don't restrict yourself to that if you love a piece. Like, don't not buy something because it's not limited edition.
And when you say limited edition, it's only around for a while, meaning, right?
There's so many made, or there's so many produced. So for example, this one I can see clearly. This 50, okay? So there's 50 of these in existence, and once they produce a 50 plus any artist proofs, they literally cannot make any more.
Okay.
So those kind of prints will hold their value more so than just an open edition print.
Okay. And can you commission an original artwork from the artist?
Yes, you can. It depends on the artist. I think most artists are open to commissions. They might just cost you a bit more because obviously they're doing it specifically for you and they're following your guidelines, if you like. So they don't necessarily have the artistic license to produce a piece of work. But yeah, you can commission a piece from an artist.
Okay. And well, just I want to stay on that for. So when you would commission, that would just be whatever your vision is, like for what you want them to do.
Yeah, although some artists will kind of like talk to you about it, and they might be able to show you proofs. Some might show you proofs, some might not. They might show you mock-ups. I've heard a story where somebody asked for something from an artist in particular, and he literally like painted the canvas, I think it was black, and just put like a red line through it. And they were like, that's not what I asked for. And he was like, that's my interpretation.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that story is true or not. I just know that I've been told that story, basically. So I think with artists, if you're going for a commissioned piece, you need to know the style of the artist. So, don't look at, I don't know, the artwork of X and say to artist Y, this is what I want, because that's not their style. They're not going to connect to that. They're not going to connect to you.
Yeah.
So always just be very clear, do your research on artists, etc., before you ask for commissions.
Mm-hmm. And then can you explain what first or second artwork mean when you're buying it?
So it's actually primary or secondary. So primary market is pieces that are straight from the artist. They are like new to the market, if you like. Secondary market is generally when a piece of art has gone through auction. So if it's been sold, and by auction, it's usually like Christie's, Sotheby's, Bonhams, or Phillips. Okay, I think it might be slightly different in the US, but in the UK, those are the four we would look at.
Okay. All right, so we have another segment coming up, and it's why we should buy art. So I'm going to keep you around a little bit longer.
Okay.
All right, more style access after the break. So welcome back. We have this last segment, passion or investment. Why should we buy art? So you have a Instagram post that you recently put up that says buy art on the never never. Can you explain to us what that means?
Yeah, so it's basically just a British colloquialism. So it means like paying off for something, basically. So if you were to buy a car on the never never, like you would say, oh, she bought a car on the never never, means she's never going to pay it off, or like basically she's paying it off. It just means like you're paying it off, basically, but it's a play on words, like you're never going to pay it off because you're always paying. So it's just a play on words for the fact that you can buy artwork from an Evelyn Evan gallery. You can pay for it in installments without any extra charge.
Got it. Which is good to know because a lot of people don't know. I didn't know that. So I'm thinking that you would have to have, all the funds when you go, purchase the piece.
Yeah, so basically, I really believe that art should be accessible to all and exclusive to none. And so I feel like sometimes not everybody earns enough to be able to just, not live paycheck to paycheck, or not, or to just have not saying unlimited reserve of cash, but not everybody is able to just say, oh, I can afford this month. So to make sure that everybody can have access to like really beautiful artwork, I just allow people to pay off in installments.
Mm-hmm. So is that common, or is that just something that you do for your gallery?
I think a lot of galleries allow it. I think there are like official schemes a lot of galleries go through doing it. So basically, you enter into a finance agreement with another company. The company pay the gallery, and then you pay off the company, etc. But I haven't gone down that route yet. Maybe I will do at some point, I don't know. But currently, I've had like a few people just say, oh, can I pay you in 2 installments, or can I pay, 3 installments, etc. So.
Okay. No, that's fantastic news because like I said, I didn't know that. So should we consider our motivation before purchasing art?
Always. Because it will dictate how and what you buy. So if you're buying for passion, which I always recommend you buy for, you're going to buy something, it's going to be a lot easier to, it's going to mean a lot more to you. If you're buying something for an investment, whilst that's a whole different conversation in how you buy for investment, because you have a different motivation, it kind of means more to you, but in a different way, because you're looking at getting a return on your investment. It's not necessarily going to be, I love seeing that every morning, or I see that as I leave the house and it just brightens my day. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes it can be both, obviously, but the motivation is going to be slightly different.
So I want to stay on the investment piece a little bit more because I think, the passion everybody has, they can see the painting, they love it, but the investment, like how would I go about doing that? So I will research a piece and I'll know what the worth is. And then through talking to someone, would they tell me that it would be worth the anticipated cost or whatever value?
The value appreciates with time, right? So you could have an artist who's hot at the moment, like, everyone's buying their artwork, etc. And then, I don't know, something could happen and their market dips and their market may never recover. So with any investment, there's a risk attached to it, right? Which is why it's an investment. So I think those are the sorts of things to bear in mind. Like, don't just rush into something because somebody's hot at the moment and think that's going to be an investment, because you have to look at other things. If they do print, the edition sizes, if they do only originals, who's buying their artwork, whose artwork are their collections in, etc. And that's how you kind of like grasp a market. But with art, as with any other investment, there is no guarantee whatsoever. You know, I think a lot of people buy art thinking it's going to be worth X amount in a few years' time, and that's not always the case. Not every piece of art is an investment piece, unless you see it as an investment in yourself, and then that takes you back to the passion. But other than that, from a monetary perspective, I think it's really important that people realise that not everything is going to be an investment. But you know, galleries, when you research your artists, you can speak to galleries that they've exhibited with. You can look at shows they've been in. You know, there's so many different people and organisations that you can usually speak to, and just ask the question of them.
Okay.
Or I'm sure you can always ask somebody.
And then just because I was just not, and then just like the resale, like just say that, you know, someone passed away, they have a piece, and I want to know about like the resale. What would you do? Who do you contact for that?
I think in those instances, you probably would want to look at, again, look at notoriety of the artist, because artists are just like people. Sorry, artists are the same as everyone else. They're going to pass away at some point, right? So look at the notoriety of the artist. Again, look at, you know, their shows, who bought their artwork, what they stood for. You know, speak to, my first port of call when I'm trying to identify certain things is always Christie's auctioneers. Are always usually quite good. I think over here you have Julian's, so the auction house. So I've spoken to Julian's about a few pieces a few times, and a few artists and stuff. So again, it's just research. And living artist and an artist who's passed away, they're still going to have a similar kind of path or trajectory that you can research and find the same things.
Okay. And how does buying art from a living artist impact their lives on the overall economy?
Oh, so buying art from a living artist, right? You're literally putting money into an artist's pocket, which is ultimately going to end up back in being, you know, fed back into the economy in some way, shape, or form. Buying work from I don't know why I feel so uncomfortable saying, but from a dead artist, or buying the artwork of a dead artist, you are potentially more going down the route of the secondary market artwork, because obviously they're not here to sell the artwork. They're not here to work with galleries and stuff like that. So. But that's not to say that their artwork can't still be in a gallery and wouldn't still be primary market. It's just, it's a different consideration. But from an economic standpoint, obviously buying artwork from a living artist, you are fueling the local economies.
Okay, and how does buying art impact our lives in general?
I think it just makes our lives better. Like, it just makes your lives better. I've got, in my bedroom, I don't have any windows, and one of my artists painted me a beautiful sunset, and so I have that above my bed, and it just looks and feels like there's a window. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always looking out onto this beautiful sunset. So, and then there's other pieces that I have around the house, and it just, I don't know, it makes me happy. So it's just, you know, it just enhances our lives.
Yeah. And for me, I want to get back into it. I have, you know, one piece that I purchased a while ago, and it wasn't even from a gallery. It was just a place that I saw. It was like vendors just set up. And I just want to, you know, buy more. And I'm glad that, you know, we had you on. I feel a little bit more educated about it. And I definitely, you know, want to come see you and get some pieces, because I do feel like for me, you know, it just enhances your space so much. Yeah, so I definitely want to do more.
Bear in mind is, well, at 1111 Gallery, we have artwork to suit all budgets as well. So, you know, we've got artwork starting at, I don't know, $90 unframed, right up to I don't know, $10,000. So, you know, there is a scale, but I think something to bear in mind when you are buying art is, like I keep saying, buy because you really like it. So you don't feel like buying something from the guy on the street isn't buying art. It's just buying something off the street. It's not, it's actually buying art. And like you said, the piece that you bought, you connected with it, you wanted it, you know, and it makes you happy. So
Yeah. Yes. So thank you so much for being on. This was such a great episode. And I think it will benefit our community in a whole, because we cater to women over 40, and that's what we love. You know, we have our own spaces. We're always doing our spaces, redoing our spaces. Kids are gone. We're trying to figure out what to do. And I think artwork is a great way that we can enhance our space. So thank you so much.
thank you. And I'm now actually a member of the 40s Club. So. I of inside.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. All right. More style access after the break.
After watching this episode, hopefully the art market doesn't seem like a daunting world, reserved for those with millions. The world of art opens a door and allows you to lose yourself in beautiful works from different countries, different disciplines, and different times. It can appreciate in value simply by hanging on your living room wall. The key is to choose something you love and buy with confidence. Will you invest in art? We want to hear from you. So if you haven't left us a review yet, please do so on our YouTube page and let us know what your biggest takeaway from this episode is. Or let us know in general what you like about style access, or some ideas you may have for us to grow and better this show. Also, tag and hashtag us at Style Access Show and Style True, and include our amazing guest, 1111 Gallery, to share your art picks. We can't wait to see it. Until next time.